I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Father Time Network. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Anthony, and on my platform, I talk about the importance of being a father. I'm here to make being a father cool again. But before I continue, let's get into the intro. Today I want to talk about anxiety and depression in our children. I came across a news broadcasting that was talking about this. I'm going to let y'all see the clip, then we're going to come back and talk about it.
All right, back to school season is once again bringing up concerns about the mental state of kids in America. Many kids are struggling with anxiety and depression. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has this story.
You are not alone. You shouldn't have to face the rough edges of life of this world by yourself.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden spotlighting mental health at a local high school in Westfield, Indianapolis on Wednesday. The visit is part of a series of back-to-school events being held across the nation, many focusing on the Biden administration's efforts to expand mental health resources through the bipartisan Safer Communities Act.
The youth mental health crisis in America represents a defining public health challenge.
Mental health has become a hot topic issue as students of all ages head back to school this fall. Despite the pandemic being over, health experts say students are still struggling with feelings of isolation and depression. It doesn't get any easier in college either. More than 60% of college students met the criteria for at least one mental health problem. That's according to the Health Mind study, which collected data from more than 300 campuses nationwide during the 2020-2021 school year.
The epidemic of suicidality and depression is serious.
Mental health experts say parents should support their kids by listening, communicating, and pushing them to get involved. They also encourage students to make healthy relationships during the school year.
You need to make some connections. Some students do that very organically and naturally, and then there's some people who it takes a lot of time, but they just need to make one or two solid connections.
Experts also encourage students to be aware of the mental health resources provided at their schools. Reporting in Los Angeles, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
The reason I want to talk about this subject, this topic today, is because recently I was hit with a major bombshell. And it hurt me. My daughter came to me and said, "Dad, sometimes I feel depressed." And as me being a father that does anything and everything for his kids, it hurt me. And it came totally left field. I had no idea. And when she told me this, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into exactly what she meant by she felt depressed. And I asked her, I said, well, does this depression lead to you wanting to do anything else? Like do something to yourself? And she said, Dad, I just be feeling depressed. Now I know my daughter. If she didn't give me a straight answer, that means that she didn't want to give me the answer. And I swear to God, when I tell you that this shit almost made me shed a tear, because as I'm moving through my day, working hard, making sure the bills paid, making sure there's food in the house, making sure I spend time here and there with my kids, making sure I get my rest, making sure I work out. It could be that one little thing that you miss that sends your child into depression. And my daughter stated that, all this started when me and her mother went our separate ways. And we were going through this whole custody battle. Her mother lost a boyfriend. Her boyfriend died right in front of her. And my daughter was there too. So at that point, her mother was going through things. And my daughter said, Dad, I felt like I couldn't talk to my mom. My baby mom was trying to keep me from my daughter because we were going through a custody battle. So she said, I felt like I couldn't talk to you. I didn't have nobody. So I was really depressed. And I guess once I gained custody of my daughter and she came to live with me, now she's in a whole new school. And she's trying to cope with that. See, me as a man, as a father, right? I'm a provider and I'm a protector. I'm going to protect my children. So when it comes to my daughter going to a new school and meeting new friends, I'm just not quick to allow her to spend the night or go over one of these people's houses because you just don't know. And I haven't known these people have been in this area long enough to just allow my child to go spend the night over someone's house. And my daughter just doesn't understand that. See, when I was growing up in the city of Philadelphia, it was different. You can walk right out your door and there's a whole block of kids your age. Most of the kids, in the neighborhood, y'all all went to school together. Y'all all live in the same area. So you can walk down the street 2 blocks as kids, walk up the street as kids. Nowadays, you got to drive, 10 minutes, 5 minutes to a whole nother cul-de-sac, at least in the area that I live in, for my child to interact with other kids. Like in our neighborhood, there's not really many kids that's her age. So when my daughter came to me and talked to me about depression, I knew a lot of this stemmed from the split up of me and her mother. And now I have 2 boys. So at times, if she sees me playing with the boys, she may feel depressed because she's used to being an only child. Now, my dad got 2 other kids, my brothers. And I would think in my mind that, she would be happy that she has siblings. But no, man, it ain't working like that. And my daughter told me that now, she's in a good space. And I'm glad, that she is. But this occurred, a while back when she was going through her depression stage as a kid. And I had no clue until now. So therefore, when she was going through her depression stage, I wasn't there to support her because I didn't even know about it. I'm just going on with my daily routine, working 50, 60 hours, taking her shopping, taking her out here and there, whole time my child is depressed. That shit hurt me, man. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like as a father, I do everything I'm supposed to do. And it's like that one conversation that you miss with your kid, that one time your child asks you to take them out and you say no. Now all of a sudden they're depressed and they got these thoughts going through their head as if you don't care about them. See, one thing that my daughter did tell me is there's a difference in households. This also contributes to her depression. So in my daughter's mother's household, her mom basically let her do whatever she wants. You know what I'm saying? She can go over a friend's house. Her room can be dirty. She can lack on homework. She eats junk food, TV dinners, microwave dinners, fast foods. Her mom lets her do whatever she wants. But see, when she came to live with me, things were different. I'm going to hold my daughter accountable for the things that she does. Her 2 main things is make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do in school and keep your room clean. So if she comes to me and say, Dad, I want to go to the movies or can I hang out with my friends? And I walk upstairs and, your room not clean. You got cups and, plates upstairs and you got clothes everywhere and your clothes are not washed, folded, put in your drawer neatly. No, you're not going to go nowhere with your friends because you're not handling your business. And see, for a while, my daughter felt like I was trying to keep her from being a child. As a father, I'm trying to teach you responsibility. See, that's the difference between a father and a mother. The fathers are going to teach their children responsibility and hold them accountable. If you're not doing your homework, no, you're not going nowhere. Your room not clean, no, you're not going nowhere. I'm not going to imagine me rewarding you for not handling your responsibilities. And I think that when my daughter came to live with me, she didn't understand that. She thought that I was trying to keep her from being a kid. No, I'm teaching you responsibility. And I had to break all that down to her. And honestly, that's not going to change. As me being your father, I'm always going to hold you accountable for the things that you're doing. You have responsibilities as a kid. I have responsibilities as your father, as your parent. I buy you all these clothes, all these sneakers, tablets, iPhones, anything that you want. But when I walk into your room, you got clothes all over the floor. I feed you dinner. You can't even bring the plate downstairs, wash it, and put it away. No, I'm not going to reward you for that type of behavior. So I guess because of that, she felt like I was being too hard on her. She felt like the world was on her shoulders. And I had to explain to my daughter, like, there's always going to be good days and bad days. There's going to be some days where you wake up and you're going to feel like, oh man, the day was a wonderful day. And there's going to be some days where you wake up and say, oh man, I just want to go to sleep. I want to sleep this day off. That's life. That's life experiences. But as you being a child, if you're not handling your responsibilities, you get no rewards. And the same thing is going to happen when you become an adult. If you're not going to work, if you're not running your business properly, there's no rewards. You won't get no money. You won't be able to survive in life. So I'm teaching my child morals and principles, whereas though her mother just lets her do whatever with no accountability. If I confront her mother and tell her mother that the depression started under your roof, it's going to be an argument. It's going to be all of a sudden my fault. Just like how my daughter doesn't want to take accountability for her actions, that's how most women are as well. Most women, not all women. Most women don't want to take accountability for their actions. My daughter stated that, when we were going through our, separation and my baby mom was trying to keep me from my daughter, she felt depressed. She didn't have dad around to talk to. And then, like I said, when my baby mom's boyfriend died in front of her, she didn't have her mom to talk to, so she felt depressed. And some may say, well, you left the family. This is what a woman would say. Well, you left the family, you're the cause of that. No. Just because I left the relationship doesn't mean I stopped showing up for my kid. Because I'm the type of father I'm going to pull up. Especially if I'm calling and I'm not getting no answers. Oh, I'm pulling up to the house. Yo, where my daughter at? That's me. So, again, I never left my child. It just was a struggle for me to see my child because most women, when the relationship ends, they want to take over as the dominant parent. I don't know what gives women this mindset that they have control over the child. Me and the mother of my child had never went to court at this point in time. There was never no court orders, but she felt like she was in control. She can tell me when and how I can come see my child. And me, I'm just not the type of man that's going to deal with that. So I took her to court, filed the necessary paperwork, and I got custody. And now that my daughter is transitioning to living under my roof fully, it's difficult for her to cope with the different households and the different rules that come under different households. That's why I advocate for parents to try their best to stay together. Because I'm a witness. It's hard on the kids, man. It's hard on the kids when they got to go to dad's house and, deal with dad. And then they got to go to mom's house and deal with mom. And then you may have the mom asking the child questions on what happened and what's going on under dad's roof. It's hard on the kids, man. So again, try your best to stick it out. If you have a child by a woman and y'all may not be getting along, try to work that out, man. And I know some people say don't sacrifice your happiness for your kids, but I would say sacrifice your happiness for your kids, man. Because you never want your kids harming themselves or feeling, less than because you as adults are going through something. And now it's trickling down to the kids. So I just want to say, man, check on your babies, man. Check on their mindset. Ask them how they're doing. Make sure they're not having thoughts of harming themselves. Because kids really do. Kids do have suicidal thoughts. And us as parents, we can't understand it, especially me. Because, when I grew up, my mom wasn't buying me no $200 pair of Jordans. I didn't get my first pair of Jordans until I became an adult. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't depressed. I didn't think about harming myself. I improvised. Nowadays, these kids, man, I really think it's because of social media, man. And these cell phones, it's just like it's dumbing these kids down. And then you got things, these depression videos popping up all over your child's screen. Because you know, if your child sees a depression video and they click on that video, the algorithm is now going to show your kids nothing but depression videos, making your child that much more depressed. So for me, right, I'm going to end with this. After my daughter told me this, my solution is I need to start getting my daughter involved in more activities. Swimming teams, volleyball teams. She was doing karate when she first came down here with me for about 4 to 5 months. And then that stopped. So maybe she needs to get back into karate, but she needs to get into like a team-oriented sport where she's around other kids and they can laugh and they can joke and things like that. So for me, that's the approach that I'm taking. After school activities, I need to get my daughter outside of that room and get her face from off of that tablet and that cell phone 24/7 and get her active. And I advise that all parents do the same. Don't leave your kids to these cell phones and these tablets thinking that just because they're up in their room or they're in the corner watching the tablet that they're okay. Because you don't know what the algorithm is showing your child. It could be showing your child some depressing shit, therefore making your child feel like they're depressed. I want y'all to really think about that, man. Because us as parents, we have to be concerned about the health of our children. This is the Father Time Network, and I'm here to make being a father cool again.